I was somewhere the other day and somebody got up and said, if you're going to stand against evil and to protect the community, then stand right here where you are so we can pray for you. And it was men and women that stood up right away. There was no hesitation. They couldn't get out of their seats fast enough, I thought. And I was so inspired. I had goosebumps on my arms. It was very powerful to see that. And I said to myself, this is what yes people look like. I want to talk about today, be a yes person. And I'm coming from Psalms 32, 8 through 11. Now, ask yourself, are you a yes to God person, a maybe, or kind of person? Because when it all comes down and we all are fighting for what we feel that is right in any situation that we go through in life, we're not looking at that person in itself. We're all looking at what we're fighting against and fighting for and what we're trying to get changed. Him liking a woman, a man, or her liking a woman, and they're black, they're Mexican, they're Asian, they're this, none of that matters because we're on a mission to fight for a cause. We sit together in unity during those things because we're all created in the image of God. And we have to stay committed to the gospel. I want y'all to realize that Jesus calls us in the same way that preachers call for people to come up. Jesus calls us to make a difference. He calls us to meet others physically and spiritually, their needs. He doesn't call us to be obnoxious. No. He doesn't call us to be whining and dragging around. He doesn't call us to be harsh to people and judging and looking at them all crazy. No. He calls us to be compassionate, to show love, to feed his people. And as Christians, we should help people. And we should help them go to heaven. We should be walking around and being a difference maker in this world that is in great need of change. We all need to become a yes person. Because like I heard someone state, if you're going to stand against evil and to protect the community, then I need you to stand up right now and admit that so that I can pray for you. Because you can't stand up and fight for what's right and hold on to God's word and deliver it to people if you're not standing on the same principles or going that path and doing what you're supposed to do, making a difference in someone's life. If you don't have compassion, it's not going to get done. Because if you got compassion, then love and joy and peace and all of that flows with all of that. Once you start walking in the will of God and doing God's work, all of that will gradually come together and you'll see it within yourself, the change. You got to. If you're doing it the right way, you're going to see it. It becomes visible. Sometimes it's so hard waking up in the morning, facing the same ungodly people, facing the disrespectful people, trying to stay encouraging and filled with joy and laughter and good energy and good spirits when you're going out here meeting these fools in the world. But know our higher calling and know who we're serving as we walk through our day. You won't go wrong. I want to be in that number. I want to share my story. Because I know that in my heart it will reach so many people. I'm not the only one that's been through my struggles. I'm not the only one that has failed down and tried to get back up and needed a little help and didn't have anything and nobody. And, I'm not the one that went through all that, because we all do. As human beings, we all are going to go through something. He never told us it was going to be easy. And the things that we go through will be able to come out. And God's going to place somebody in your life, through your life, on your journey, that you'll be able to pour into and help. But you have to say, yes, God, I'm willing to walk that walk, be that Christian, talk that talk. There's no perfect person. We all make mistakes. But are you getting up every day and wanting to change that? Because if you do it repetitiously, it then becomes forming and habit forming. It then forms and becomes habit forming, So be a yes person. Be a yes person. Ask Jesus to help you be a difference maker. In His name. Everything is for we ain't doing it for, us. We're doing it for God. We can lose ourselves in trying to be all of that and high and mighty, but we have a bigger purpose. It's not about you being praised. It's about God being praised. Giving thanks to Him. Giving honor to Him. So don't get big-headed as you're going through the motion. Stay grounded. Don't lose your blessings trying to follow your flesh and the things that are around you in this world. I can remember one time I had a good paying job, a pretty decent paying job. And I wasn't paying nobody no tithes. Baby, I wasn't thinking about paying no tithes. That's more money I could have. And I was smoking marijuana too. Honey, that was my cigar, my cigarette money, my herb money. Couldn't see it. And it took years for me to get it right. It took years of me sitting there wondering, wow, okay, this is your expense on this. And, just thinking about things. When you want to change, you begin to think about your life. So when you become complacent and sit in your shit, meaning sit and get real with yourself and realize the things that you have really done in life, even to yourself, just get real down and dirty with it. And I said, gee, that's like, man. It brought attention to myself, and I began to learn so much more about myself that I was trying to cover up and keep covered and sometimes embarrassed of and, felt bad about it, whatever the case might be. And so I started making myself a budget, Still wasn't paying no tithes, still wasn't giving back. God was just blessing me. But in those blessings, I still was having struggles with paying a light bill, rent, stuff like that. Just making it, pushing it and making it. Making a way, trying to do this and that, just on my own, just blind to the fact. But as years went by and I grew and I was going about change and more change and wanting and striving to be the person God has called me here to be on earth, I realized I got to give back. And what made me realize that is because in a blink of an eye, I came into that situation myself. The people I was looking down on and wondering, well, if you just get a job, then you did it. I became almost, if not, those same people. And people were doing me as the way I was treating other people. I literally had an aha moment and had to break down and cry and repent because I was a very judgmental person. Very. I might not have spoken all the time, but my mind sure said it. I was speaking it through mind and outer of my mouth, And then as years went by again, I started just paying it forward. Just sporadically blessing people, throughout the day and throughout the month or whatever. Whenever God blessed me with my check, then I was taking out the 10%. I didn't really know what to do with it until, I was like, okay. And then people started coming up on me that needed things. I seen they needed things. They never asked. I just seen it. And at the end of our conversations of just speaking with them and listening and whatever, I would bless them. And I saw God moving. I spent my own money for years feeding people under the freeway. Now it's against the law, so I don't want to get in trouble, so I can't do it anymore. But I spent years, never advertised it, never really begged for anything. I spent my money and fed people good. I cooked meals as if I was eating them myself. I actually got a plate. But yeah, I poured my love into my food that I prepared for people I didn't even know. I would go around the freeways because you can go around and find plenty of people. And then there were people that knew me or seen would stop and ask and then started helping, and it began bigger. We began to get donations poured in and just people bringing things. I was able to provide blankets, toothpaste, just necessities that they needed for their bodies and just all kinds of stuff. And I still do that right today. But I can't feed them. But I can give them clothing and socks and shirts and shoes and stuff. And I still get donations from people. I beg for people's stuff. Hey, you clean it? Oh, okay. You clean out your closet? Come give it to me. I always run across people. I've always been able to bless people through other people just giving me they say their trash, their garbage, and I'm blessing other people with it. But as I started doing those type of things, God started blessing me over and over in my life. And that's what I'm saying. I don't have any wants. He provides all of my needs. He meets all of my needs. Even when I think he doesn't. And sometimes, just being human, I might say, oh, God is due tomorrow, but oh, Lord, I don't have it. I don't know how to. He provides. God provides. I love that song by Tamla Mann because God does provide. He does. I've been that person that has been raised in the church. Never forgot about God, but just sat him to the side because it was too cool to be in the world at that moment. I was doing me. To the person that now you can't tell me, God, it's not mine. You can't. And I know he belongs to all of us. But my personal relationship with him is strong. He's my best friend. He's all I have. I don't rely on nobody but him. When I have a problem, I fall on my knees. I talk to him throughout the day. I'm always riding around talking to myself. Let people tell it. People be looking at me all crazy when I'm driving sometimes. I just be in the zone, I'm not saying I'm all what they say churchy and just go around no. That's not what my day consists of. My day consists of blessing people, giving them what they need, and showing them that God is still alive. God is still answering their prayers because they're getting that and they're receiving that compassion and love that some of them don't even know why, and that they feel unworthy of it, because I've been in that space too. I remember telling my uncle years and years ago, he asked a question and I was like, I just feel unworthy of God's love. Why does he not give up on me? Because I had given up on myself. I made a mistake. I felt horrible. But he never gave up on me. He'll never give up on you. So why should we give up on people? We should want to help. Help. Like I say, wake up every day and people go, good morning, how are you doing? Hey. I'm telling you, the simplest things mean a lot. And it's uncostly. People stray away from people because they feel like people are going to beg or they got to give up something. Give up knowledge. What's in your heart? What's in your head? Help a person. Help a person to become better. Refer a friend. Refer someone. I have referred so many people on jobs and they've never said thank you, and I don't care. But if they ever look back on it, they got to think of me. That's how I look at it. When I help people and I don't want the glory. Like when I bless people with cash donations and they don't know why and where it comes from, it just makes me so upset when they text me back or they'll say thank you, and I'll be like, it wasn't me. Because the me wouldn't give it to you. The me has a whole lot she can spend that on. Give that to God. Apparently he knew you needed it, so I just got the most. I'm just following in what he's telling me to do. So it's just good to be a yes person when it comes to God. And one by one, I feel like we're all going to get there. But until then, just strive to do it. Fall, get back up. Fall, get back up. Just strive to do it. Y'all stay blessed. Have a good day.